that's exactly who we are. I'm Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop everywhere.
And I'm Marisa Johnson, and she is Marisa J. Make sure to follow our podcast at mnaepodcast.com. Make sure to join our Patreon. We are live right now on there, and you will get exclusive content every week. And yeah, we have some great guests today.
I mean, we're going to be talking about puppy pee. We're going to be talking about Kamala. And before all that, or after all that, we're going to be talking to these two beautiful ladies. You guys, this is our first time having two guests, right? No, we've had
we've had like couples. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is like one of the only times we've ever had two guests besides ourselves. They are mothers, they are wives, they're comedians, and they host the podcast that Marisa and I were recently guests on called Why Mommy Drinks. It's an amazing podcast, so make sure y'all check it out. Give it up for Betsy Stover and Amanda Allan.
Yay! I need to get one of those like shakers.
Yeah, just a little clap hand. Shake your breasts like this.
Okay, guys. Yeah, for having us on the show. I'm so happy that we're here.
Oh my gosh, this is great that we get to see you, because on your podcast we heard you and I was just like, I want to see them. Yeah. I saw their picture, but I bet you're so nice and pretty, and you guys are.
Oh, you're so nice to we can barely get it together to do like an actual podcast every week, like with a visual component, like with makeup and an actual shirt, like
an actual shirt. Are you usually shirtless when we record?
Yeah, I'm always naked.
Good to know. I love it.
We don't usually wear pants. We're pantsless.
Yeah, I don't usually have the pants.
No, I'm wearing some ugly stretch pants right now.
Same.
Okay, so if you guys want to check out Why Mommy Drinks podcast, please do. It's on all outlets where you get your podcast. It's great. It's phenomenal. And Marisa and I were on there. We had a really, really, really good conversation about race on the show, and it was very beautiful. It was very uncomfortable, I'll be honest, ladies, because Marisa and I really haven't talked about race with non-Black people. So we were just like, what do we say? we don't want to be rude, and we don't know what to say. But it was such a beautiful and like just honest conversation about race.
Yeah.
But thank y'all for having us on.
And to that, we got so much feedback. I think they were your followers sending us, long messages of just things that they implemented after listening to the show and things they talked about with their friends. And we were like, oh my God, really? They listened?
Yay. No, we didn't even think people watch or listen to us. So, like, your podcast is way cooler than ours. So we were just like, whoa, people actually listened to it. And like, they heard us. Because on ours, we're just like, say whatever. We don't know who's listening.
Get that people listen, and then somebody will say something to me like online, and I'm like, well, how do they know that? Like it's almost like you do it, you don't, and then you're like, oh, I just did that thing. You don't realize, there's like a lot to listening to your life every week. Yeah. So, I'm glad they wrote to you.
No, it was great. It was like, what, 5-6 messages?
It was something, yeah. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like they were so sweet. They were just like, thank you for that honest conversation. It was like refreshing. It wasn't, it just made me think of things differently. Like, look at that. That's amazing.
Right.
Well, thank you guys for having us on.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get some Ain't No Shames going, Marisa.
It's not my Ain't No Shame.
It is my week, isn't it? Oh, y'all, yes. It's Ain't No Shame time. So this is our time of the show where we do some mommy confessions. We don't shame each other for it. You might shame us on the inside, but just don't say it on the outside or call CPS on us. We ask. So this week, so you guys, usually we do mommy shames, or mommy confessions. This time it's more of like an animal owner confession, because I'm in the process of potty training our almost 2-year-old son, Maverick, right? That, you guys know how that goes, right? He's a boy, all that stuff. But at the same time, my fiance thought it was a great idea to get a puppy. So that's what I said, right? And I'm not even an animal lover like that. I don't hate animals. I just believe animals should be outside and able to roam free in the gated backyard, not like in the house. So and we already have a dog. Our dog Jada is like 13. I love her. She's cool.
You already have a dog?
Yes.
Why? Why?
He said, Dad, I don't know what's going on. But he was just like, I want this dog. I really want this dog. And I was just like, well, I'm not saying no. Let's just wait until our human puppy is out of diapers, like, let's make sure he's good. And then we'll revisit, when he's like 6, 7, 19, 35 or something, like some other time than now. But, he kept showing me, he was like, I found this dog. Like, she's in Rhode Island. We'd have to get her shipped.
Oh my gosh.
So I was just like, okay, but I'm not picking up no pee or poop. Like after like months, I was like, fine, go get the dog. I'm not picking up anything.
Hold up.
Look at Betsy's face.
Are you in Atlanta?
I am, Betsy.
Okay, so he had to find a dog that was in Rhode Island. There weren't any homeless dogs in Atlanta.
No, he wanted this specific dog because he wants to show her, like put her in shows. He's doing
what? I didn't know all this.
He thinks he is like the amazing trainer of dogs. Okay, he's trained like 5 dogs already, so he's like, I can do this. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna train this dog, right? So I was like, okay, cool, do your thing. And now the dog is at our house. She's super cute, but she's a puppy. So what do puppies do all the time? They like pee and poop everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to be assisting with this. And when she first came here, I think the first week, she peed and like my fiance was upstairs in the office doing work. And me, like Maverick and I were downstairs and I looked at that pee and I was like, babe, your dog peed. And we right over that and went outside. And that is my mommy shame. I let the puppy pee chill on the floor for her dad to come pick up because I was like, look, I got to clean up my butt and the baby's butt. That's enough butt to be cleaning. Okay.
Gosh.
The dog.
I just can't. The idea of having a dog, like, oh, no.
Mm-mm.
My kids want like guinea pigs and hamsters and I can't even like go talk to the fucking fish that you have that you never look at.
Do you guys have any shameful parenting moments?
I feel like my life is shameful parenting moments. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Amanda, you want to start? You have any
My thing that immediately came to mind was just the podcast. Like, I feel like there's a space where a lot of people feel shame towards, like, I would never talk about my kids on a public platform or post pictures of them on Instagram or, like they haven't given, like, don't you think they're going to be mad at you? What are you going to do about that when they get older? And so there's a space there where, I'm like, no, I decided to do this. And the way I do it, like I don't go too much into their own experience on the show. I go into my experience as their parent. And so, I try hard to stay very close to that in all my stories, but it's interesting to see the shame that kind of is attached where people are like, wow, you have a podcast about your kids? And there's just like this moment of like,
really? You know what that made me think of, Megan, when you posted Mav's poop? And people were like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
People were like, why would you? I gave everyone a fair warning. I was like, the next story is graphic. You might want to tap off.
Just give everyone a warning.
And I was being fair. I was fair, and everyone the numbers did not decrease. Everybody tapped to see it. And I was like, well, you guys are gross. Because I wanted to see the baby's poop. There's a level.
Yeah, people have like a feeling of, they know there's just so much that is acceptable to be sharing about your kids. And if it's too much, it's too much. And so I think sometimes people can view the podcast as too much sharing. Just like poop, sharing pictures of poop would be. Yeah. I had a friend who did that and everybody came for her.
Really? That's so funny.
And everyone was like, this is disgusting, unfriending you. Like, do not do it. Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, like, feel free. It is a free country. You do.
Yeah.
I was debating of posting this today, but my little girl, she was like digging in her nose and then she eats it. And I was like, I'm going to post this on Instagram today. And then I didn't because I was like, maybe this is embarrassing. But now when you say this,
I would post. Okay, so I will say this. I do have like, for the most like super, super embarrassing, crazy stuff, I don't usually post it on my wall. I'll post it in like the story.
The stories.
So that it's
So it goes away.
Yes.
Makes it better. Or I post it in Mav's private Instagram page because I want that to be like a chronicle of his life. So yeah, the little nose digging video that would go on there. I'd be like, hey,
maybe I'll post it on her Instagram.
As my kids get older, they're starting to curate my Instagram for me. So they'll be like, "Do not post that, okay?" Or they'll be like, "Oh, wait, are you ready? Post this." You know, they're really like, okay. I don't want to post it if you want me to post it.
I try to like make sure. Usually, I'm like, would I want this of me out there?
Yeah.
And then
That's actually
how I
that's
try
the
to.
problem because I'll be like, yeah, I don't really have.
Because you're shameless.
Yeah, put my poop on there. It's fine.
Yep.
Healthy.
Shut
Good
up.
poop. It's a good grade of poop.
I thought of my ain't no shame moment, which was I talked about it on Why Mommy Drinks, but there was an evening once where we were doing bedtime, and I told my kid that he needed to brush his hair, and we have a lot of arguments in my house about hair brushing because my 9-year-old, he has long hair. He has hair about my length, which is long for a boy, and I don't even know if he likes having long hair or if he just doesn't like having haircuts. But he's not great about brushing it. And actually like right in the back sort of crown of his head, there's always like this insane rat's nest, like coming out, like just knots that are just like defying gravity. And I'm always like, please go brush it or I'm going to cut it. And actually this morning we had an argument about his hair and I was like, you need to brush your hair or else I'm going to brush it. And which he doesn't like, even though I'm really good at it. And he was like, no. And he brushed it and it still looked like straight up garbage. And so I was like, I'm going to brush that out. And he's like, no, just cut it. So I cut out like these 2 knots out of it. So now he has like these like inch long, it looks crazy. But luckily like no one's going to see the back of his hair. And I just can't with his hair. But anyway, so this one night we were like arguing about hair brushing.
I like that you've made his hair Zoom ready, where like it's just like the front, but the back is just like
yeah, no one's ever gonna see that part.
In the front.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's like me today, you guys. I got on the wig for you.
Yes.
The specialty wig. You see the front, right?
Don't
Okay, I'm
turn
gonna show you
around.
the back really quick.
Okay.
Really quick.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Does your son's hair look like that?
That's amazing.
Oh my god. This is what we do to bring you content.
He made me so happy.
Oh my god.
I didn't want to do my hair today. That's really what happened. I didn't want to do my hair, and I was like, I'm supposed to wear a wig cap. I don't have one of those. I'm supposed to wrap it. Didn't feel
How
like
many
doing it.
wigs do you have?
I have like 5, but I never wear.
I've never seen you in a
I don't wear them. I don't know why. Oh, actually, I do know why I have them. Some lady sent them to me, and I was like, okay. And I tried to wear them, and I was like, I just feel like everyone can see and go, oh, wig when they see it.
I think that's how I would feel. Yeah.
Wait, you shot with this like all day?
Oh yeah, I've used this in different things before.
Okay.
Somebody was like, you look like Black Morticia.
You don't look like yourself. I feel like you
I-
do not look like yourself at all.
This is a
It's
lot.
crazy.
This is a lot. Sorry.
You don't
guys.
look like you're wearing a wig to me, though. It does look very natural.
That's what I
to
said.
me.
If you didn't know, like if you never seen her,
Yep.
like you
No.
would
I just feel like very
oh, that's
Addams
cool.
family-ish today.
Or very Angelina Jolie. Look,
Ooh, I'll take it.
yeah, there we
The
go.
lip- with the red lip.
With a red lip.
All right, let's talk about some mommy tips. These are just
yes.
a couple of helpful things we learned along the way. Marisa, what you got?
I just feel like I don't have any tips anymore. But no, so I have a 2 going on 3-year-old, and then I have a 5-month-old. And my 2-year-old, she is like a 35-year-old woman. She speaks very well. We have full conversations, but recently she's been acting like a baby. It's like she crawls. It's like goo goo gaga mommy, pick me up, feed me. She wants me to like spoon feed her. All this crazy stuff. And I'm like, oh, you want my attention. So last week I left the house with her. I left the baby. It's like the first time I've like taken my Halo, hers her name, taken Halo out alone with just me. And I spent the whole day with her. So my tip is maybe if you have multiple kids and you see one of your kids acting crazy, or I don't know what it is that she's doing right now. I mean, she cries all the time. Like, it's insane. I've never seen her act like this. But in our day, like, I took her to a nursery. I let her pick out flowers. I took her to lunch. I took her to the park. Well,
that's so special.
Actually, you know what? She got on the park. She got on the slide. Yeah. She didn't care. I told her it was closed, but she went to the park. Yeah. And she was so happy. Like, she was herself again. She was talking to me like an adult. You know, we had a great day. So my tip is just, you know, if you have multiple kids right now, it's like really hard for them to be in the house and sharing, you know, you and your attention. So maybe take one of them out one at a time by themselves and spend some quality mommy time. I think, I mean, she's back to acting out again, but in that moment, it was a great day. She said, "Mommy, this is my best day ever." Oh, okay, Halo, I love you. And then she screams and kicks and
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So
Betsy, what do you guys do? Because you have 3 kids. Do you like? Is it possible to like take one at a time?
I know.
Today is your day.
It's hard. I mean, we excuse me. We barely have time just to like deal with them with like work and just trying to take care of ourselves and feed everybody and stuff. So yeah, I feel like I've always been a huge failure in terms of making time for each one of them individually. I know Amanda's better at it than I am, but yeah, I need to be better. I mean, I know intellectually that they would be better behaved, happier, higher functioning if I just did that. Well, here's the only thing I have been doing. Excuse me. Is every now and then I've been having one of them come in my bed at night, like once a month, and we'll do like we'll just snuggle and watch something on like the iPad and you know, a movie or like British baking show or something. And that's been nice, just to give them that time. And it's very low key for me. I don't have to be like running around, and you know, I'd be watching TV anyway. So I mean, the only thing is then like the last time I did it with my 8-year-old Ajax, he was up until like midnight in my bed, and eventually I had to be like, okay, I think you just need to go to bed now, because I didn't realize that this is what we were getting into.
And sign up for all this.
Do the other kids try to like, hey, I want to come too? Or is it like, no?
Yes. So in fact, because he was up so late, the 9-year-old kept coming in and being like, why is he still up? Why is he still in here? And I was like, you and I had we had this thing together. And he's like, but we weren't up until this late. And so even it's hard to.
Did you say he's my favorite and that's why? So go away.
Go away.
I should have done that. I'm sure that would have solved it.
Yeah. No problems there.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm like the last person to give advice. I mean, we don't give advice on our show mainly because I think we both feel like we should not be giving advice.
But no, that's the perfect reason why you should, because you guys, especially for us, we're new moms. You know, we're 2-3 years in the game. So it's like hearing from moms that have done it for a while, like nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to do it 100% correct. But hearing your experiences, I'm like, I can incorporate that. Flip it a little bit and then make it.
And we don't feel bad about doing the things we do because then we realize other people do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Or worse.
I'll tell you what. Here's my biggest advice, which is I have a mantra. It's a parenting mantra, and it aids me very well, especially because I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist, and I'm very anxious. So my parenting mantra is, it's probably fine. And anytime I get really stressed out about they're not eating enough vegetables or they're, you know, I just try to remember, it's probably fine.
Oh, I need to say that every day.
And then, I mean, even if it's not fine, it's probably fine.
Oh, I love it, Betsy. I love it. Because I'm always just like, that's not going to kill him. We're good.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. I had to start doing that because my very first kid, I would take him to like a baby music class, and he would take those shaky eggs and put them in his mouth. And I was like, oh God.
That was me last year.
So I had to train myself to be like, it's probably fine. It's probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
You get to the third kid, I'm sure it's just like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, I hope it's
raise
fine.
themselves.
Oh yeah. Our third kid, his favorite, when he was a baby, his favorite toy was a plastic IKEA cord cover. He put it in his mouth. He probably gave himself lead poisoning, and we probably let it happen. It's awful.
Amanda, what about you? How are you? What are some of the ways that you make sure you spend time individually with the kids?
Oh, the way I do that, I'm similar. If they start to act out, it's usually a red siren that like, oh, I need to start giving them individual time. So if I can get one-on-one time with them, I will. We do similar to you, Betsy, where it's like it's your night to come into bed with me and hang out, and we watch shows. There's another thing, which is lost y'all. Hold on. There you are. I also try to be very conscious of how I show up with them all. So I might be like, Emmeline, come here. Emmeline, you're going to come sit with me in this chair. And like just really focused on the one.
Oh.
And then I'll switch it later and be like, Benny, what show are we watching? Benny, where are you going? Come over here, sit with me. And then with Wes, like I'll be like, Wesley, come on. Like, so I try to find space throughout the day to make sure that around the other siblings, they're getting that attention in front of them too. Because I think with the twins, especially, they get very jealous of one another, and more so than they do of their brother. But that may not have been the case if they were spread out. But I think just because they're identical twins, so everything is like, I need to find my way to be my own self. And so it's trying to constantly pay attention to that and just listen. If they start baby talking, which they still do, like they'll start to kind of get, yes, it's the most annoying thing. They'll be like, Mama, I want you to hold me. And I'm like,
what are you doing?
9. Stop.
Yeah. My 9-year-old does that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought
They
this
still
was
do
like,
it. No. They still do it. And you're like, why are you talking like that? Or what I do when they do it now, I dive in deeper and I'm like, oh, baby Wesley. Oh, no, baby Wesley. Huggies. And then I grab him and make him into a baby. And then I'm like,
that's how she wants me to hold her. She wants me to hold her like an infant.
Well, he's like 9 and gangly. So then he's like, this is awkward. Why? And I'm like, because you wanted a baby Wesley. And then he's like, I'm good. Thanks.
I think my 9-year-old does it because he sees his 4-year-old brother getting attention for being a widow baby. And because he's the youngest, he really plays it up. So my 9-year-old's like, aha, that's how to get attention. Act like a widow baby.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
I did get my hot tip. I have a hot tip that I learned yesterday or the day before yesterday. So
What you got?
New hot tip.
Hot
off the presses.
I wish I had earlier, so I'm willing to share it so that you have it. Create an email address for you and your partner that's strictly for your kids' school and sports, so that you both have access to all of those emails, and they're all coming in one place, because we get emails. Sometimes Kaiten gets an email, sometimes I get an email, sometimes and then there's so many that you're like, what is this about? So there's an organized email like just for that as they grow and go. And you can that's the school email. And it's like not their names. It's for you and your partner to have, so that you both can have access to it. You both can see it. And then you can just search through everything in the one email.
You're not blaming each other for like, didn't you get that email? Didn't you get that email? No, they said
or forward it over, or where is that? I don't know about it. Which one, because it gets super...
Gets real
I think
crazy.
it going, there's just so many emails, and it's really hard to figure it all out and find them all. And it's like, wait, is it today or tomorrow? I know, Betsy. Isn't it like,
and then you could just go to that folder and be like, these are where they all are.
Yeah, these are first grade emails. These are fourth grade emails. These are
everything gets mixed in with your work stuff and your personal stuff, and then you're like, oh, there's school stuff. Ooh, boy.
I have like 7,000 unread emails, so anything that's coming into my personal email, it's I'm not reading that anymore.
And I guess that would be like more apparent now because everything's online, so you're getting more emails about the kids.
You definitely are right now, but it's still it's still overwhelming even when they go in person. It's like when they start doing sports, it's like, here's the schedule this week for soccer, and here's this, and who's signing up for that, and
there's like so many, and all the parents are on like CC'd, and then they all reply all. It's
everybody replies.
I'm not ready.
It's just a giant mess.
Me and Megan are like,
gosh, get ready. Homeschool.
So one email that's like just for you and your partner, and like
that's genius.
I know. When I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh.
Duh.
We got a fourth grader. How have I not known this? Like, I wish we had started from the beginning, because it's also like once you put that email in, they just send it to the one forever.
Right.
It's true.
It's like trying to change it is also like pulling teeth. So do it before they start school if you can.
Ooh, that's good. That's good to know.
Hot tip. Make one email that's not yours.
Oh yeah, that's good. You guys do that. Make sure you do that. Let us know what kind of success you're having with making your one email, because I'm definitely going to do that. Next up, we got Let's Scroll. So let me tell you what's been on my timeline, which I'm sure has been on everyone's timeline, is the Democratic nominee pick for Vice President Kamala Harris. She is the third woman in history to be nominated as a VP. So what do you guys think? Like, is this a good thing? What are the positives? What are the negatives? I mean, I personally was just excited because she's a woman. She's mixed race. She's Black and Asian like me. You know, we Blasian out here. And I just think it's a good thing anytime a woman gets something that is traditionally thought to be for a man. Like, we should celebrate that, whether you want to vote for her or not. Like, that's still something celebratory that we should be doing 100%. Or surrounding that. And then on top of that, I just really like her story. Her parents are immigrants. You know, she was born in Oakland. She grew up, I mean, she's done some amazing things, whether you agree with what she's done or not. So I just think that that is the typical American dream. And so I'm just like, hey, big ups to her for that, you know, regardless of everything else. Big ups for that. What do you think?
I'm excited. She was my pick, actually.
Oh, was she?
And I was kind of devastated when she dropped out of the race. I love her. She's my senator. And I think she's just like, she's so fucking smart, and she doesn't take shit from anybody. And like, just watching her, you know, question people or debate people, like she's just so like, so whip smart and so sharp, and I don't know, she makes me really excited and proud, and I'm thrilled. I'm beyond thrilled, honestly, that she's the pick. I'm also zero surprised. Like I mean, it was gonna be her.
Right. Nobody else had the balls, I guess, except for Kamala. Let's be real. What about you, Amanda?
Yeah, I'm excited. I have not been looking forward to this election. I can't, like, it's the world is hard.
It's the only thing that gets me up in the morning. Oh, I can't wait till the 2020 election.
I mean, I can't wait. I hope he gets kicked out of the White House. I just cannot stand him. That's just me personally, but I'm excited for the debates now, because I think she's going to kick some major ass, and that's going to be worth watching. And I like how strong and smart she is. And I like that kids get to look up to that and see a woman like really show up. And so I'm nervous. I'm nervous to get excited about it, because I can't have my heart broken. And if it doesn't happen, I'm just going to be devastated. So I'm a little like removed from it all, because as like a self-preservation mode, I'm going to vote. I'm going to do what I can to encourage other people to vote. And in that, but I also feel very like scared to invest. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, but I'm just like, I can't I can't watch it anymore. It's like a train
Yeah.
wreck. So
Yeah.
And
That's
I
how I
think
feel.
that's a good thing that you mentioned too, because she would be the first female vice president in this country, which is like
Yes.
huge for girls. Because if you think about it, like huge for minorities. We're growing up in a time, especially for for Marisa and I, our children see a
Yes.
president or that look like them, and it's like wow.
Yeah.
And now there's a possibility there could be a female.
Yes.
And you guys have, Amanda and Marisa, you guys have daughters, so it's like, hey, our daughters can be like, oh, there's a chance that I could be in the White House.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I think just looking at that, it's huge. That's like a
huge
big thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
No, I mean, I think I'm with Amanda of like, I'm just so disconnected. And only because when you look at history, how much influence has the vice president really even had? I'm not excited to vote for Joe Biden. I don't want to vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah,
it's
me
not,
neither.
there's nothing in me that feels like he's going to make this huge difference in what's happening right now. I honestly don't want to vote for him. And then I think about, like history, when he was vice president, what did he do? What is Mike Pence doing? Like, he led the COVID-19 initiative, I guess. Look where
see
we're
how
still
that's
at.
going.
So to me, it's more so of like, there's so many issues at hand that have gone unnoticed, that are going unnoticed, child trafficking, with race, with all these things. And how much influence has the vice president ever had on these things? I don't have that answer.
Well,
and with her, there's all this excitement, but you, like you said, you were supporting her. You wanted her to win in the beginning.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of women who felt like that. Otherwise, I feel like she wouldn't have dropped out, and they didn't champion for her then. And so it feels more of like a desperation. And I hate feeling like this of like, I have to do something or have to vote. Like, and then, like you said, and then what if she doesn't? Like, what the world gonna blow up? Is this, fight each other?
It has blown up.
It's like, so there's not a huge investment. I'm not like invested in this like I have in the past. Doesn't feel the same to me. That's all.
to me, it feels like we all just have to just sort of like keep our heads down, don't make any waves, vote for Biden and Harris. And on November 5th, then we can be like, I don't like this and I'm mad. But until then, let's all not you, Marisa, but like people on my Facebook feed. Let's all just like be fucking cool. Don't give any ammunition or talking points to the opposition. Oh, who is George W. Bush's vice president? Do you remember? He was that guy. He had like 100 heart attacks, and he's still alive.
Oh,
Dick
yeah.
Cheney.
Yeah, Dick Cheney.
No, Dick Cheney.
Oh yeah.
That was a vice president who
Okay.
actually
Okay. I'll give you
may
that.
have done more than the actual president. Like he actually created policy and went over the president's head.
So was it Kamala versus Trump?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Joe's 77. He says a lot of stuff that's stupid. Let's just be real. It's going to be her. And look, it's a very stressful job. So if he is president,
I knew you were going there. I knew you were about to go there. I was thinking it in my head.
Really, really good health. Okay, take your vitamin C and your elderberry every day, Joe, because you're elder.
But it's between
Just saying.
it's between like the Crypt Keeper and Jabba the Hutt. You
Oh
know,
my
like
God.
neither of them are in the best. I mean, on Donald Trump, come on, he has
looks
fucking
really
2 scoops of
sickly.
ice cream a night and 100 Diet Cokes.
Right.
He's
KFC, I
clearly
think
got
he likes KFC.
dementia.
Yeah.
Look
I
at
don't know.
Amanda's face.
I know. I feel that. I feel your face.
I know, it's
I'm like,
honestly, I'm not happy about either side. However, I will say this. I am a very big advocate of voting, only because there's people who died so that we could vote, whether they were women
100 years ago, right?
Movement. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was like 100 years ago this year
Yeah.
that women got the right to vote.
Right.
Oh.
And so it's like there's women who fought to vote. There's African-American people who fought to vote. So there's really no reason why I don't need to be in a polling place, even if I write in myself and say, hey, I was a nominee on the write-in ballot, you guys. I just want to put that out. I mean, even if that's it's your choice. You have the right to vote. So whatever you want to do, vote for whoever,
And vote locally.
But vote for Biden.
Like, no.
Donald Trump's a monster.
Right. Just vote for Biden.
And we're all going to die if you don't vote for Biden. So please, like, seriously, vote for Biden. Because Donald Trump's a horrible human being.
I agree. But just at least vote. You know what I'm saying? Especially because after John Lewis died, my fiance and I watched Selma, the movie Selma again. And I just was like, yo, like these people, the stuff that they went through just to cast a vote. And here I am talking about, I am not voting this time around. Like, how irresponsible is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, these people fought and some died just so they could cast their ballot. So let me just go vote, okay? Just
I mean, at John Lewis's funeral, Morgan Freeman read the speech, and it's our responsibility to keep this movement going forward. It's our responsibility to be doing something about it. And if you have someone who's getting in the way of the equality and freedom of others, it's our responpiity to vote them out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And hold them accountable. So that's why we gotta vote. I mean, like vote.
Donald Trump. Okay, and we're moving on. All right, you guys. So we want to ask you a couple questions about, just your podcast and being moms in general, Betsy and Amanda. So first of all, you have a very successful, amazing mommy podcast, Why Mommy Drinks. I mean, it's like when Marisa and I were looking for other mommy podcasts that we wanted to partner up with, your podcast kept coming up. It was one of the more popular. People are like, ooh, follow this mommy podcast. And we're like, what are they talking about? They seem really cool. We like them. And what made you guys, when did you start your podcast and what made you want to start a podcast?
We started a podcast about 3 years ago, I think it was, right, Amanda? Yeah.
4.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, almost 4.
And it started because I had a really rough day taking my 3 kids to a sporting goods store, and they were absolute lunatics, and no one would help me, and I didn't know what I was doing, and my kids were running around being insane, and there was a wall of basketballs, and they were grabbing them off the shelves and throwing them around the store and at people we don't know. It was insane, snoot to tail. It was just a shit show. And so I went on our moms group that Amanda and I are both in, and I just sort of vented about this. And Amanda was like, hey, you and I, we are having the same experience. Let's make a podcast. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's start tomorrow. Right?
Yep, that's about it right there. Yeah, I mean, I think it was just this idea of, she wrote this long essay about her day, and I was like, this is my everyday too, and it's so hard but also funny, and there's all these moments of I don't know how I'm going to get through this that I was having. And so when she wrote that, I was like, oh, she's having it too. And Betsy's amazing because she is organized. Earlier you talked negatively about perfectionism and wanting to make sure things get done. But I think that's part of why our podcast is successful at all and happening. Because if it were up to me, this thing would have died before it even started. I was like, I've got an idea. And she was like, okay, we're doing this. And this is how. And I was like, cool, I'll show up.
Whereas I'm like, if I'm going to do it, it's going to be the fucking best. And if it's not the best, then why the fuck are we fucking around?
Yes.
Which is awesome, and I think is why it works too, because we have similar things happen to us in our parenting, but we also look at it from different points of view and how we tackle things. So it's nice because we complement each other in that space. So Betsy will make the cake, and I just try to find one someplace.
I think too, I looked around at podcasts, or people would recommend podcasts, and everything was. It felt like I was going to school or something. It was always about what I should be doing or how I should be learning how to parent. I mean, I should, but I was just like, I just want to hear other people have similar experiences so that I feel less alone, because parenting, for me, motherhood was the most isolating experience I'd ever had in my life. I had never felt so alone. And so to not see myself reflected out there, to look on Instagram where everyone's perfect, and, you know, Pinterest where everyone's got the most beautiful parties that are planned to the, you know, I didn't see myself out there, and it made me feel more alone. I figured, if I feel this alone, I'm sure there are other people just like me out there.
Oh,
who need
for
to be see themselves.
That sounds a little like us.
I know, seriously, because we were just like, you know what? We kept calling each other like, now the poop is this color. Should I call what do I do? He's choking, but he's okay. Like I
feel like we were crying in a car, or maybe I was crying. I'm always the one crying.
We were both crying one day.
Yeah,
and it was crying like, and I think both of our kids were in the back asleep.
Yes. Oh yeah. It was the day you read those books at the library. That's what I think it was.
You read a book?
Oh, I had to like read books to kids or whatever. And I just remember being like, oh, this sucks. Like, this sucks. It's great, but it sucks. Yep. And we just were like, oh, we need to, and the stuff we were saying, we're like, let's just do a podcast, because if all else fails, it's an excuse to get away from the kids for like an hour.
100%.
God. Betsy, so you're the perfectionist, and you were like, okay, we got to make this the best podcast. Like, what advice do you have for podcasters, or, you know, even us? How long have we been doing this? Like a year?
Like a year.
A year? Consistently. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for us to be, you know, more streamlined and perfectionate and everything?
I think let's see. I used to listen to the Nerdist podcast back in the olden days. And I remember they talked about like, you know, they would get asked from people like, how do I start a podcast? And they would always say, just start a podcast. Yeah. And I really took that advice to heart. Like, I thought that made a ton of sense. Like, yeah, you don't have to do that much. Like, I knew someone who did a podcast where he would interview people. He would just put his iPhone on a table and then we would talk. Yep. And he would upload it. So I was like, well, I feel like we can do that, or even better. But one thing that I think is helpful is our podcast, and yours as well, have a structure. And I think making sure that your podcast has a structure and sort of sticking to that, it feels familiar, and like any form of entertainment, like all forms of every TV show that you like there's a structure, and it feels comfortable when people adhere to that and they can depend on it. I think ultimately that's really important, right?
Yeah, I think Megan was big on structure.
Yeah. Because I've listened to unstructured podcasts and they're fucking boring.
They are. Because like, you don't know what to expect. Why? All over the place, you know. All right, so let me talk to you guys about parenting in 2020. Your children have been home up under you during school, the summer. How has this affected your parenting? Has it changed you? Have you learned anything new about it? What?
It has not made my parenting better. I'll tell you what. I have found myself kind of giving up and just staring into the distance a lot more. I have a lot more moments of like, oh, fuck it. Just watch this YouTube until your eyes fall out of your head. I'm just gonna lay here. Yeah, so I don't know. I have to say, we all hope that when you have that moment where everyone's counting on you, that you're really gonna rise to the occasion. And I'm sad to report that I've actually been like, oh no, I have not been rising to this occasion. I feel like I'm falling quite short. But also 2020 just sucks. It sucks. It eats a bag of dicks. It's the worst. So, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think similar to Betsy, I also think it's made my own self-worth as a parent go way down the tubes. I mean, even listening to her talk right now, I'm like, she's being so hard on herself. This is incredibly difficult stuff. But I always feel like I'm failing more than I ever did before. Yeah. And I think it's just unsustainable and I can't keep up with it. And so, but I have to, because they're telling me I have to. Like, I just got my kids' school schedule for online learning, and it's all day, and it's very intense.
Oh my God.
And
Same.
I'm completely at a loss on how I'm supposed to work and do it, and I don't know how. And then also my kids, so it has made me look and reflect on how I show up as a parent. And I think I was working too much. I know I was working too much before this. So it does make me look at that and say, like, okay, I need to like pull back and be more of a parent right now. Which has been I think that's a positive, but it's tough because I can't fully do that because it's confusing to them, because I'm home, but I'm working. So like I'm on Zoom calls all day. And so they're like, you're here, just turn it off. And I'm like, I can't, like, I am here, but I actually am in that little box, and I have to like run this meeting with 65 people listening to me. Like, it's like, I can't just turn it off. So it's been interesting, because to them, I feel like it looks like I'm not present, like I'm neglecting them. And then it feels like I'm neglecting them, and I am neglecting them. So it's like this weird constant feeling of like, which plate do I drop? What breaks? Is it the job or the kids? You know, like, and it can't be the kids. So it has to be the job. And so you just start going like, uh-oh, how long can this last?
Yeah.
So
it's moms who work outside of the home, you know, traditionally, who are now working at home, you know, I feel like it's they're getting the real brunt of it, because they're being expected to continue those jobs as if nothing has changed.
Yeah.
But then they're also supposed to be like homeschooling and watching their kids all the time, which wasn't true before.
Yeah. Right.
And we're supposed to be doing all of that, and we're supposed to be doing it well. And also we're all losing our minds.
Right.
We can't even take him to the park because the playground is closed. Yeah.
Or I feel like my kid just ripped through the tape and just.
My kids too. Like, you're going to tell the kids, no, you can't go on a slide. Like, that's the same idea, right? Where you're like, yeah, I'm home, but I'm not home. It's like, there's a slide there, but you can't go on it. It's like, yeah, okay, that doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to get on the slide.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one thing, like you said, it is a positive when you start evaluating like your own life. And it's like, and even with us, it's like, oh, we were working entirely too much. Like, we were killing ourselves. And so that's one positive. And I think even my husband said today, you know, he was like, you know, I'm going to take the second half of my paternity leave. And I was like, really? He's like, I'm just going to take the month off. I don't even care. Well, like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if they're offering all this support at jobs, it's like, take it. You better take it now.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
you know,
that's where, I've switched
to the hills.
I'm like, I'm going to take as absolute much as you will give, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. And instead, I think in the beginning of all this, I was like, no, I can hold everything up. And it was like, no, you can't. No, you can't. No.
You shouldn't. And you know what? I think that's a good thing for this country too, because I feel like this was a country that was just like work. Mm-hmm. Whereas like other countries are like, no, take your vacation, take your maternity leave that's paid, you know.
Hope it is cured.
Go home and have lunch with your family.
Right. And so finally it's like, oh, now things are never going to go back to the way they were, because I think a lot of companies are like, hold on, we have less overhead because you guys are working from home and nothing is stopped. Cool, work from home. So it's like, okay, now we're getting a little bit more freedom, but it's also like, okay, now the responsibility as mothers is on us to figure out, okay, what does this set of juggling now look like? Because had to juggle forever, but now
I also heard that a few companies are going to go to 4-day work weeks.
What are we?
I feel like that should have been like right. I mean, I feel like that would be everything.
Oh my gosh.
There are a lot of other countries where like you go to work, but it's not your identity. Exactly. It's how you make money. And then you go and you spend time with your friends and family, and you have time to take care of your body and pursue hobbies. And in this country, people, like, the first question people will ask you when they meet you is, what do you do? But apparently there are some countries where it's rude to ask that because it's just like, what does my job have to do with me?
Yeah.
Which is mind-boggling.
Right.
Yeah. Guys, we're all together in this.
Thank God.
We are.
Air high fives for everybody.
Oh God, I wish I could give someone a high five right now.
Hey, you can. I mean, you can.
Betsy
break
came
the
by my
rules.
house. It was the first time I'd seen her in like 6 months. And I wish I'd taken a picture. I wish I had taken a picture of you and you had taken a picture of me. We had to like stand far apart from each other and we just stared at each other with masks on. It was the saddest thing
Like,
I've experienced in a long time. It was just like,
Megan came to my house. Megan sat on my couch.
I know, I did. To be fair, I had a mask on because she has a newborn, so I did have my mask on. And I had gotten tested before I left Atlanta and after. So I knew I
was
didn't.
like, can I hug you? Like, what? Just give me a hug. I don't care. I'm over
And
it.
and then I held her baby, but I held my breath in the event there was. I had a mask. I did when I was holding her because you went to. I said, Marisa, go take a shower. I'll hold her.
Oh God.
When she
Dr.
said go
Meg,
take a
we need to
shower,
talk.
when she said go take a shower, I was out. I was like, bye,
yes.
bye, kids. So what's next for your guys' podcast? You know, what's next for you guys personally? I know everyone's just.
I don't know. I mean, I really would like to go to a movie again one day.
What is next for our podcast? I mean, obviously, I want to get bigger and bigger and then rule the world.
Yeah.
And quit any other work just so.
When you do, can you
podcast.
just bring me and Megan with you? Just like
Yeah.
You got it. You got it. Yeah, I want to be my favorite murder, but of mom podcasts, which means I'm going to buy a house with the money that I make from my podcast, and have international stardom.
Oh, I
Does
like
that
that.
sound like a good goal?
That's a good goal, Betsy. I'm excited to be your co-host.
Great.
And Amanda's like, what she said. Well, I'll do that.
I just want to go to see a movie.
Well, you know what? Actually, we're getting our Patreon up and running.
Oh,
That's been a
good,
big.
yay!
My brother did it for us.
Well, Megan's brother's doing our editing now.
There.
Megan's brother's doing our editing now.
Hooray
That's
for
so funny.
brother.
Bring it in the family.
Yeah. Make our family do this work for us. Yeah, that's what
My brother can whittle spoons. That's what he does.
That's
No, I don't know.
Hey, can he really whittle a spoon?
Yeah. We're like total opposite people.
No?
He like goes
Yeah?
hiking and camping in the country and makes spoons out of wood he finds. And
Amazing.
I go to the hotel. I eat spoons that someone else made. I eat wood spoons that I yeah.
You guys are crazy.
Nice.
All right, y'all. It's almost time to get out of here.
So we're talking about Nicholas.
Oh, I love you guys. Okay, so we're about to get out of here. We have one more segment called I'm Fine. What is that, Marisa?
So I'm Fine is a segment where we would like to leave you with some inspiration, mentally, physically. You know, normally when we talk to mothers, we ask, like, you know, how are you doing? And it's like, I'm fine, when we know you're really not. So Megan has some inspiration for us today. Megan, what you got?
Yes, this quote comes from Jodi Picoult. I hope I'm saying her name right. The very fact that you worry about being a good mom means you are one. Just
I
so
love that
leave
very
that,
much.
because we're all great moms here. No matter how this pandemic has affected us, our children are alive. They are healthy. They're alive and healthy.
That is so good to remember. I need that reminder.
And then if that doesn't, tickle your fancy, this quote probably will. Motherhood is basically everything you have to do to get from coffee to wine. And that's from the Southern mama. Right.
Wait, is it that I'm drinking wine in the morning, like, during this time. Like, cracked it open for breakfast. What?
I mean,
No, it's more like champagne.
Same day. Tuesday is the same as Saturday at this point.
Basically.
Yeah. What is
Right.
8 a.m.? Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much for taking a break with us. We hope that you'll continue to take a break with us right here on Mommy Needs a Break every week. We have a new show. We have great mommy and daddy guests. Please follow our guests on their Instagram all over at Why Mommy Drinks. Any other websites or things that you guys need to plug?
No, we are Why Mommy Drinks podcast. And I think on Instagram, that's our main thing. Yeah. And then, of course, subscribe to our podcast. It comes out every week. It's a comedy podcast first, parenting second. And and you can start out by listening to the episode that Marisa and Meg are in.
Oh, yes.
It's a great podcast episode.
Well, thank you so much, Betsy and Amanda, for joining us. You guys are amazing. Actually, you guys are so much fun. Like, when COVID's over, can we like all hang out and like go get drinks or something?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would love that.
And then can we just
still
put our
do
kids
that?
together?
You just go sit outside. You have like your seats outside on the like little curb. Next to the trash
and then we can just put all of our kids
Yep.
in a room and let them watch each other and just pray and hope for the best.
I'm not stopping my life anymore, guys.
I hope my kids are all still alive downstairs.
All right, I'm Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop everywhere. Make sure you join our Patreon. Come on, guys, help us out. Join our Patreon. The link's always in the descriptions. Become a member. Marisa?
Yay. Don't play me, Megan. I'm Marisa. She is Marisa J. Follow Mommy Needs a Break at MNAB Podcast and make sure to visit our website at mnabpodcast.com. See you next time. Everyone's frozen.
We'll see you next time. Mommy Drinks Needs a Break.
Oh, wait, what happened?
There you go. That's our new mashup podcast.
Yes. Why Mommy Drinks Needs a Break.
Did I see? Bye.
Bye.
Yay.